Hi guys, this is Coach Amber from Racquet Volleyball and Fistball Club. Today we're going to be going over fistball plays, and the play that we're specifically going over is the dragon play. So a big play secret is that when you are creating the names of them, you want to utilize words that are not commonly used in the actual sport of fistball or whatever sport you're playing, but you do want to try to have elements of the word that make it easy to remember what word or what play it is. So for example, this is a flip-flopped version of the lizard play, but the reason why it's called the dragon play is because there's an R in it and it happens on the right side of the field. And dragons and lizards, they're pretty similar, so it would help certain athletes remember some of the elements of it. If they remember lizard, then when they learn dragon or vice versa, it makes it a little bit easier for them to actually remember which play is which because they're so similar. So first thing that we always want to talk about is what the purpose is and what kind of play it is. So this is a location play mainly, and there are certain elements that really are needed to make sure that this specific play works. So one major element is that the left side has to do something that is very, very weird and a little less strategic, because we are going to need the set to look a certain way, and the only way to do that is by pulling the left side to a certain area of the field. Another thing is that this is only really able to be utilized when you're in the B zone of the field, and the reason is because there's a lot of movement going on and you need a little bit more time to make the adjustment when you're actually doing the play. So you actually want to utilize the bounce to maximize your ability to actually get the point. If you're doing a direct set, you have to kind of scale it down, which is still possible, but now you're not able to utilize the location portion of this play. So first thing is locating where the setter is, so then the setters know when they are supposed to do this play. So the setter, just like in the lizard, is in the white zone B. So the white zone is this zone right here, and B is here. So the white zone would be somewhere in this area. So this is where your setter would be. The next thing is that you want to know where your left side striker is. So your left side striker wants to wind up on the right side of your setter, and that's why it's a little weird. The reason why it's weird is because, typically speaking, a left side striker wants to start the play on the left of the setter, and the reason why it's really weird is because then it means that it's going to be a little bit more challenging for the setter to set them, but we want to utilize that location because then it actually makes it less obvious on who is hitting. So the reason why we don't want the left side here is because then if the ball goes over here, it may make it a little bit more obvious who's supposed to take the ball. But if the left side striker is on this side of the setter, now you have to really have control over what kind of set you're giving, because it means that your set area is limited to right here, which is totally fine. You'll have a lot more options and a little bit more deception because the left side is over here. The next person is your right side striker. They're gonna stay in the red zone. And the reason for this is if you have a left-handed right side striker, just like in the lizard, they can run a play where if the setter sets the ball this way, then they can come in and then they can turn and they can strike the ball down the line. If you have a right-handed right side, there are a few differences. The main difference is that you want to have it that you're almost running it like an X play and that you're utilizing the strengths of your arm. So a right-handed player that's moving this way would be able to hit balls in this direction right here. A right-handed player moving this way is a little bit more powerful because they have the ability to turn to any of those balls. So the reason why we want to have the left side striker on this side is because if the ball is set here, this could be for either player, and then they just need to communicate and figure out who is taking that ball. Versus if it's over here, now if the setter is setting the ball, now it's kind of obvious that a ball that's really far on this side of them is going to the right side striker. So then now there's less options for the defense, which means that they're going to set up a lot faster. The last thing to keep in mind is that sometimes when you run plays, it's not always about having the most options. Sometimes, excuse me, sometimes when you're running plays, it's just about changing the location, meaning that there's going to be holes in defense. A lot of teams will typically set their defense up around plays in the white and the blue zone and a little bit less in the red zone. And we want to utilize the fact that their defense might have those holes because they're not fully set up. And also they don't know which striker is striking it. So when you run plays, it's not always just about getting kills. It's also about getting them out of system, or it's about just making them know that you have a lot of options, because the more tools that you demonstrate to them, the less time they have to react. And it means that they're going to be a little bit slower, and there's going to be those holes, and there's going to be delayed reactions just because it's different and visually impacting to the defense. So is this the most dynamic and best play? No, which is really funny because Dragon, you'd think it's like the best play, but it's actually not. This is just to help move the team around a little bit and make it that you're able to make some adjustments. Like, for example, if your left side is starting to get real tired, if they're transitioning over here, they run a play, now the right side can go cross field and switch spots with them if you have a right-handed player. So if you utilize this, it makes it that the transition's a little bit easier for the tired player, so then the less tired player has a little bit more time to actually transition and get ready to hit. So thank you so much for watching, and definitely keep watching our series. Bye guys!